Swami. This video is in line with the videos I've given on methods and meditation. Now this is basically why secret don't work. Secret is nothing but law of attraction. Now knowingly or unknowingly, everybody is using this law of attraction. Now I recently read about this, but when I was a child, I remember anything I used to think constantly on, and it used to get materialized in due course of time. This thing works in such a way that the whole arena is changed for you. Like for example, when I was staying at Navy Nagar at one place at Mumbai, and I wanted the same kind of place somewhere, where I shifted at that place long time. It took, the duration was long, but I got the same place, with that. I wanted to see the sunset, I could see the sunset. Whatever you want, you're thinking, it materializes, but it may take some time. It won't happen instantly. Now let's analyze this law of attraction. What actually happens in this, whatever is coming in our lives, say people, jobs, conditions, good or bad, we are actually attracting them. If we analyze thoughts, generally at an instant 4 or 5 thoughts come. Now the researchers may say that 60,000 thoughts coming in a day. No, what I'm talking about is a small life, every individual being. If he analyzes himself, he will see that at an instant 4 or 5 thoughts come. Now, when the 4 or 5 thoughts are coming, we are aware. There are 2 ways to work on into that. One way is you remove the other thoughts scattering, and choose one thought and work on that. You may say that it's a harmonious thought, and in order to build a positive way or harmonious way, you can keep that thought. Good. You can. That's one way. Now, other way is to go at the root. Anything if the root, why I'm saying, you got to just be aware of flowing of thoughts. First way I told you was catching a harmonious thought and working on it, right? But what happens if you catch a harmonious thought and work on it? For a few days it will work, and then you come out on the same state. That is why people watch such programs like I'm giving, but then after some time they come out back to square one. So change has not taken place because they have not understood why. The know-how of the thing, of this thing, what is happening in attraction, law of attraction. Now, the second way, what I'm saying is just going logically, add on to a harmonious thought. That was the first way, I'm sorry. Now, second way is just be aware of thoughts flowing. Now, not just an awareness on a normal sense. Awareness choiceless. Awareness wherein you don't think of good thought or bad thought. You come out of that, and your awareness should not be having a choice. A choiceless awareness. Now, you will see that choiceless awareness in due course of time makes the change in your being. Listen to these words carefully. Make your change in your being, for your being. Now, if you are choicelessly aware of the thought which you have thought, whatever thought is coming, you are not thinking either they're good, what will happen, or other consequences about the thought, then it becomes a choiceless awareness. Now, this awareness is so powerful that it make changes in your being and make changes for your being. You see, anything you have desired or you have thought, that comes into a form of materialize. It materializes for you. Now that's what is the secret of this law of attraction, in a way that if it doesn't work, that means this what I'm saying has not been understood. It is like you must try both. You must try both these methods I'm saying, because you are a part of that creator, or you are an individual, undivided part of that whole. You call it as infinite. So if infinite have created you in his light, you are infinite, but a small infinite, an infinite which is not aware about its infiniteness. So you have all the potentials. But when you see that you are a small light, it's better to move as a small light and being aware. So you take both the ways I'm saying. You first analyze logically the thoughts, like at an instant you get 4 or 5 thoughts. Okay, move on with that. Try with the harmonious way. And suppose what happens, you try it out, you move, you said, okay, I've learned to listen to this program, this man, this idea, all these people have said. And then I try it out. When you try it out after some time, you say, well, okay, it's not working. Now, the second way is you just be choicelessly aware of that. And this choiceless awareness, in due course of time, it will make changes for your being and also in your being. Now, this is very important, because what happens if it's like you plan for something and you jot down, you write down those programs or something, you are actually moving towards that aim. But ultimately you see something else happens. Now, because your mind-body program is different, your mind, you are not a being of just instance. You have been traversing in this path from many, many years, incarnations. Now, those imprints on the consciousness are there. And when you program, you make your plan, and you write down the thoughts, you have that vision, but yet it doesn't work, the reason is your subconscious, unconscious mind takes over, because of which you couldn't achieve the target of whatever it was. So the thing is that, the second thing is what I told you is choiceless awareness. Now, practically putting this choiceless awareness is like sitting in a state wherein you be aware of your thought, closing your eyes, you just let the thought come and you watch your thoughts with choiceless awareness, or in Sanskrit we call it as Sakshi Bhavana. You be there as a witnessee. You witness your thoughts choicelessly. And not discriminating that, oh, this thought is bad, oh, this thought is good, so I select the good one. I said, no, don't do that. Just be aware choicelessly on the state, closing your eyes, seeing at the black inner sky, and being aware of those thoughts coming, but witnessing those thoughts, not participating in those thoughts, just witnessing those thoughts. In fact, my first meditation I had experienced, I have told in my other videos also, was in the same way. When I was witnessing those thoughts, those thoughts were no more. Then I was actually aware of the inner sky and the light moving on that. So this is very important thing, understanding. You hear many programs for your aim you want, but it doesn't work because there is some know-how technique which you have not understood. Same way as if it works on yogic postures or any technique, even in martial arts, everything has some know-how technique which you have to understand. Same know-how techniques works in this here. But it's like what Chinese say as, when you seek it, you cannot find it. Because you're too much concentrating on the subject, and then you create a stress on the subject, and then due to those reasons your logic doesn't work. At the same time, your mind is already programmed, the past imprints, they come into play, and that total chaos comes in. You cannot work it out. Now your mind is conditioned by the past imprints. So you have to decondition your mind. Remember one thing, success is not dependent on situations. It is the inner state of your mind. You suppose you have an aim to earn so much of money or become so big man and all, but suppose you are not content from your inner being, you are not satisfied, you are not happy, then it is futile, it's useless. So that is why, well, even if you become a rich man, you live in a big palace, or you move away from the palace, it should not be hampered to you. That can happen only when you understand the state of inner being. Now, inner voice, inner being is the same thing. It comes from you only when you are relaxed and you try to understand. And at the same time, you see, you have to understand one more thing, it is deconditioning. You see, like you learn something, but you forget that and go to other things. If you learned something in a way of mugging up that thing, you don't understand the meaning of that thing. That thing becomes a conditioning to you. Like you're moving in a certain direction because you have been moving from a long time. And that direction you were not moving in. It was some other forces which were taking you to that direction, and it was as if seemingly you're moving, you're not actually moving. So that kind of conditioning of the mind will move to decondition your mind. A simple way is sitting into meditation, or I have divided meditation to three parts: concentration, contemplation, and meditation. Meditation happens, you cannot do it. Here we are talking whole, I'm talking is on concentration. So in concentration, you have to decondition your mind, the imprints of your mind. That is the only way by which, why your secret don't work. I started with that. That's the reason, because you have imprints on your mind, which conditions your mind. You plan something, you write down something, and you try to work it out, it doesn't work. Now here you're baffled. You heard a lot about this attraction, it doesn't work. It is like I have put one thing as conditioning mind. Like you see, the whole world has believed that Vedas are the oldest book of the world. But there are many conditioned minds which will not believe, because they follow their conditioned sects. They will never believe on that. Now, to decondition that thing is not easy for them, but for the people who are open and simple by the heart, they can remove that. Like I have a friend, he was a Muslim friend, Firoj. He later on became Christian. He changed his name to Cash. His name was, he met me, he said Williams. Because he studied philosophy and he found that he cannot live in that conditioning. So he wanted a state where he got to be free. But I told him, if you come out from Islam, if that's one circle, Christianity is another circle, Hinduism is another circle. You remain in that circle, but yet don't be there. You see, you are a human being first, than any other sects you are following. Because the important thing, you respect all religions, take out the root cause, the root of the religions. Like on my last video I said, it is basically sound and light unto which all religions boil. So the same way, it's not the question of religion. What I'm talking is conditioning and deconditioning mind. The mind has been conditioned for many years that you cannot do it. So you remove that conditioning from it, so it's like deconditioning the mind. That can be done by this method of, there are two ways I've given. One is you analyze logically, and then the other way is you come to a state of choiceless awareness. Now, practical working of this, sit down in a meditation and look at your thoughts, become a witnessee of your thought. It becomes choiceless awareness by that. And by that, and then you are slowly working on your being to change, or in due course of time, the change will come into your being and for your being. That is what happens when you think something, you plan something. Even if you forget about it, you don't have to have anything, but yet that that the whole nature makes that thing for you. Anything, suppose you want a house of a certain kind, you will be surprised that after some time, when you have you are not expecting it, you will have that house. But you will hear, oh, this has happened. Actually, this is what I was thinking. Yeah. So but this all imprints. If there is a negative in the imprint, that also changes by this choiceless awareness. This is so important, to understand this thing, the intricacy of it. So, by working this, you work on the root level. Otherwise, you're working the periphery. Once you work on the root level, the change takes place. But it will take time, in due course of time. It won't happen just now. It will take time. You have to have a way of thinking wherein you respect everything, every change. You thank to God whatever you have. You be thankful for whatever you have achieved, and then in due course of time, everything else will come to you. You be happy in every state of your being. The very act of doing the work is a joy. It is not the outcome. It is not the outcome which will give you a joy. Because if your joy is based on conditions, in due course of time, that will change. And that will not give you a joy. So it has to be unconditional, without conditions. The important thing, I have told you the two methods and the practical way of working it. You can view my other videos on methods and meditations, and subsequently I'll be putting videos on healing, and the subject which I have made, which is in link with this, is Vajramukti. My book is being published from Germany, and apart from that, many other works I put in my blog. And to make understand with this real love, I have put an article, talks with my earthly father, between me and my earthly father. Those are in the form of spiritual inquiry. You can read that in my blog. I'll be thankful if I could do something to help people to know their self. So on.